Breaking news. At this moment, the world is standing at a very critical point, with only a few hours left before the deadline set by Donald Trump expires. And while many believe that Iran might step back, the situation has taken a completely different turn as Iran has launched a powerful and dangerous attack on Israel using cluster missiles, causing heavy destruction in Tel Aviv and other areas. And what makes this situation even more alarming is not just the scale of the attack, but the growing claims that Israel's defense system is no longer functioning effectively, as incoming missiles are not being intercepted the way they were before, raising serious concerns about whether the system has been overwhelmed, compromised, or has reached its limit. And Iran's use of cluster missiles clearly suggests a strategy to overload and bypass these defense systems, increasing both damage and pressure on the ground. At the same time, this conflict is no longer limited to a single region, as its global impact has already begun to emerge, especially in terms of energy, where LNG gas supplies from Gulf countries are now expected to face delays, creating uncertainty in global markets and particularly in Europe, where leaders are urging Iran to de-escalate and reopen key trade routes like the Strait of Hormuz to avoid a full-scale energy crisis. While on the other hand, the United States has reportedly warned that this war could turn into a long and exhausting conflict, which may benefit Iran over time. As the longer the war continues, the more pressure builds on the US and Israel, and this is already being reflected in the global economy, where stock markets are under pressure, investors are uncertain, and fears of a worldwide recession are increasing rapidly. At the same time, there are serious concerns about further escalation, especially if attacks begin targeting critical infrastructure such as power plants, water systems, and air travel, which could disrupt entire systems and affect millions of people, leading to shortages of electricity, water, and essential services. And this is why regional countries are warning against such actions, fearing that retaliation could lead to a complete breakdown of basic systems. While on the geopolitical level, this conflict is also reshaping global alliances, with strong indications that countries like China and Russia may support Iran indirectly, which could turn this conflict into a much larger global power struggle. And alongside this, there are reports that wealthy individuals and investors are moving their assets to safer regions, particularly China, which is being seen as more stable due to its strong production base and continued access to energy resources, while at the same time capital is reportedly leaving the United States as concerns grow about economic instability, frozen financial systems, and the need for liquidity during times of war. And within the United States itself, public frustration is rising as people question why their tax money is being spent on foreign wars, especially as the cost of this conflict could reach trillions of dollars, putting further strain on an already pressured economy. Now all eyes are on what happens next, as the coming hours are extremely important and will determine the direction of this conflict. Because if the United States launches a major attack, the situation could escalate beyond control and turn into a prolonged global crisis, bringing energy shortages, economic collapse, and long-term instability. And what started as a regional conflict is now clearly turning into a global issue, with the potential to reshape the world order and the decisions made in this moment will not only impact the present but will define the future for years to come, as the world watches and waits for what could be one of the most critical turning points in modern history.